or the first 3 overtimes. And Rodney Hood came in and played great. It was a hell of a game. I've never been involved in a game like that, regular season or playoff, but it was amazing effort by both teams.
Questions?
Royce Young, ESPN. Terry, the sub 2 go to Rodney there. Was it just looking for some fresh legs type of thing?
Well, I'd like to take credit for that, but actually Mo was cramping up a little bit, and so that was the reason for the substitution. But we did go to him a couple times. Obviously, the 3-point shot was a scramble situation. CJ had a great play, but we did go to him because we liked the matchup a couple times, and he had fresh legs.
Terry, what about your thought process in a game like that on whether to stay with the guys who are in there who obviously look tired or put a guy in who hasn't played in quite a while too? How tough is that decision?
It's a tough call. I think most coaches just kind of go with the guys who are involved in the game, guys who have gotten you to that point. Guys have been sitting on the bench for a while and maybe a little cold. It's just... both, it's just like a heavyweight bout where you just, battle of attrition. But it's a good question, but I do think most coaches kind of leave those guys in there because they're in the flow of the game and they got you to that point.
Terry, Eric Anderson, Associated Press. Dame had only 2 turnovers tonight. They were blitzing him a lot, 8 assists. What did you like about his game tonight, getting the ball to other guys?
He didn't necessarily shoot the ball well, but he, 2 big plays, 2 big layups towards, wasn't looking good there for a while, and he gets to the rim twice. That was huge. It was fighting through fatigue because we asked so much of him at both ends. The thing about Dame is you can look at the box score, but his demeanor and the way he leads the team, whether he's shooting the ball well or not, is really important for us.
On your right, Coach.
Terry, Mike Richmond, NBC Sports Northwest. Can you put into words sort of the emotional release after 4 overtimes to get a win like this?
Well, it's, I don't know. It's I think everybody's pretty tired mentally and physically. You just don't know. The game was won and lost so many times by both teams. It was a roller coaster. Every overtime was a roller coaster. So I think it was, I don't know if it was as much elation as it was relief, but it was, I'll take either one.
In the back on the right, Coach.
Joe Freeman with the Oregonian. Terry, can you just describe Enes Kanter and what he's giving you and how he's playing with his shoulder, and he took that hard fall into the front row, just what he's giving you?
I tell you, my hat's off to Enes. He's a warrior. He goes out there. I don't know how much pain he's in. It looks like it's a painful situation for him. I asked him, I don't know how many times how he's doing. I'm okay, coach. I'm okay. He just battles. He's given us so much at the end of the regular season. Obviously in the playoffs, we wouldn't be in the position we're in without him. But he's remarkable.
Third row middle. Yes, right here.
Emmanuel Laurent, Basket USA. I wanted to ask you about CJ.
Where are you?
Is it?
Okay.
CJ scored 41 points. What did you prefer in his performance tonight?
He made some big shots I forget which overtime was, but he hit a 2 and hit a 3. Big, tough shots to make because of the strength it takes to make those shots. He made some really clutch shots, and I thought, he was actually, had probably a little bit more of a game going, but Will Barton did a nice job on whoever he was guarding, and but for CJ, even though I don't know, what he actually shot, but for me it was more about the timeliness of his shots.
Back row center.
Terry Eggers, Portland Tribune. May sound crazy with that many points that were scored, but it seemed like it was pretty good defense a lot of the way. What did you think of your guys' defensive effort?
I thought it was good. I mean, when you look at every overtime, there wasn't a lot of scoring in overtime. I thought it was a very physical game. Neither team backed down. Everybody was locked in, getting to the point in the series after 3 games where everybody kind of knows what the other team does. Everybody kind of gets locked in, so it's kind of hard to score. But yeah, it was. I thought when you look at the shooting percentages, it was just a hard-fought game, and there was certainly a lot of defense. Denver did a hell of a job on the offensive boards. Just like Game 2 in the fourth quarter, they really pounded the glass, and that kept them in the game for I don't know how many fourth quarter and the overtimes, but I don't know if that was very good offensive rebounding team, but fatigue maybe came into that for us.
Last question, front row right.
Terry, Joseph Henderson, Associated Press. I know it's only 1 win in 1 game, but does it feel like more than one? And how much?
Well, it's 1.5 since we played. We played a game and a half, so let's get 1.5. But we still have to get to 4.
How much can that momentum mean going into Game 4?
I don't know about momentum. I mean, we'll see. It's a quick turnaround for a Sunday 4 o'clock game, so it'll be interesting how both teams come out going into Game 4.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Unbelievable game. What can you say? We're talking about 4 overtimes, nearly a fifth, tons of big shots, tons of great defense, and there's a good point there, despite all of the scoring, and just unbelievable shooting at one point during the overtimes from C.J. McCollum, who also held way down the court. There were just so many moments in this game. I want to go to something that was asked there in the presser with Terry Stotts, and we're going to hear, obviously, soon from Coach Malone. Greater energy off a win from this, tougher to handle off a loss. Hang on to that. Let's hear from Mike Malone.
Question's fine.
Second row center.
Coach, can you describe the emotions of those 4 overtimes and sort of how much it wavered throughout those 4 overtime sessions?
Yeah, it's lots of highs and lows. And when you play a 4 overtime game and you come up just short, you're disappointed. That game is a instant classic. Couldn't have been proud of our guys for the fight, staying with it. Nikola Jokic played 65 minutes tonight. That's unheard of. That's ridiculous. I can't do that to him. That's too many minutes. But we fought. That's all you can ask for. Too many second chance points, too many turnovers. That was a difference in the game. But, that was a hell of a basketball game by 2 very good basketball teams.
Front row, identify yourself, please.
Harrison Wynn, BSN Denver. Coach, I think Nikola had 6 points or so early in the third quarter. You guys had a timeout. Wondering if you delivered a message to him there because he came out super aggressive, hit a couple field goals right after that, and then just kind of your impression of how he was able to, put away all the exhaustion that he was probably experiencing in the overtime periods late.
Yeah, there was one timeout. I'm not sure when it was, Harrison. I said, listen, we got to get this big fella going. We got to start getting him the ball. I don't care if they're double teaming him or not. Let's get him the ball, let him make plays, let him be aggressive and score. And he was able to do so. We had our chances. We played great defense once again, another hell of a defensive effort. But, big kick-out 3 to Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood had a huge impact in the game. They went to him. He went right at Jamal Murray. He scored time, I think 2 times in a row. Played good defense. They kick it out. He gets a 3-point shot. But Nikola, just even going into the 3rd or 4th overtime, I just said to him, you're not tired. You're not tired. And he was phenomenal. I've never been a part of a game like this. 4 overtimes. That really both teams deserve to win. You feel bad there's a loser, but that's the way it goes. We came up just short. We have to learn from it. And there's a quick turnaround. Plays Sunday afternoon, so we'll try to get as much rest as we can.
Third row center.
Joe Fisher, 1080 The Fan. You just mentioned the quick turnaround. What do you have to do to rest these guys with these unheard of minutes that they play tonight? I mean, you really have a really quick turnaround. So what do you have to do?
They have the same turnaround. Those guys played a lot of minutes as well. I mean, Cantor played 56, McCollum 60. Right there, we're talking about a playoff game. Guys just played 60 minutes. That's crazy. So, yeah, you give them rest. You let them sleep in. You get them treatment, rehab, recovery. And, you try to learn from the loss and get ready to battle. Both teams are exhausted, so it's the same for them as it is for us. So we will not use that as an excuse. We haven't used it all year long, and we won't start using it now.
Front row center.
Michael Omyoung's at ESPN. as you're coaching this game, do you even allow yourself? I know you're locked in; it's a playoff game, but do you even look at your coaching staff and just be like, "What is going on here? This game is just not ending at all."
Yeah, there were a couple of those moments. There were a couple of moments where I thought we, had the game, and obviously the big turnover on the sideline, Jamal, with C.J. McCollum knocking the ball away. We got a couple of stops, but they get kick-out threes. But to your point, it was almost like, when is this game going to end? It kept on going and going and going. And I think it speaks to, their group, our group, competitors, fighters, and leaving it all out on the floor. I mean, if I was at home watching this game tonight, I'd have been glued to my TV. This was a great basketball game. Wasn't pretty at all times, but the effort, the competitive spirit from both groups was outstanding. So hats off to Portland. Great win for them, and now we have to try to get one on Sunday afternoon.
Back row center.
Mike, Dwight Jennings, NBC Sports Northwest. You look back at the game, do you have a regret or two on something that you could have done or would have done? I know you had a 4-point lead. You mentioned the turnover on the sideline there, but you gave up back-to-back layups to Lillard in that situation to tie the game.
Yeah, I have no regrets. We left everything. I left everything out on that floor. And so, we'll watch film and try to see what we can do better. But as far as regrets go, I have zero.
Second row.
Mike Singer, Denver Post. You rode with Will throughout the 4 overtime sessions. What did you see from him? I think he had a couple clutch three-pointers, some big defensive stops. What did you see from him in the performance tonight?
Will has played well defensively. He's rebounded, but tonight was, I think, the first game in the playoffs where he was really had an impact on the offensive end of the floor. To your point, he went out there off the bench. 8 of 18 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 9 rebounds, 22 points. And, he's played against these guys. He's played in this building. And I thought he gave us a good lift offensively and defensively and on the glass. So it was great to see. I'm happy for Will. Obviously, I would have been happier if we were able to pull out the win. But we're going to need everybody. I mean, obviously guys are tired and going to be really drained with the limits that we're pushing them to. But, Game 4, the playoffs on the road, backs against the wall. Let's leave it all out there.
Last question, second row.
Hey, Coach. Christian Clark, BSN Denver. With Nikola, just what was kind of your internal struggle like? I mean, keeping him out there, even though he's gas, but anytime you do take him off the floor, their lead got a little bit bigger or your lead went down.
Well, I think you just said it. Nikola Jokic is our best player. And we are at our best when he's on the floor making plays for himself and for his teammates. When I rode him that fourth quarter, I had no idea it was going to go into 4 more overtimes. And then, so as we're going along, I'm saying, wow, how are we going to get through this one? So I apologized to him in the locker room. I said, listen, and he doesn't complain. He said, you don't have to apologize. But, I mean, I've never seen that. 64-58. That's a real number. That is a real number. So, but he was fantastic. 33 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists. The guy was incredible. And I was just hoping that, we could win the game and I could finally get him home and get him some rest. But, it just didn't go our way. And not from a lack of effort. And that's the break sometimes, and we'll be better off for it. This was a great experience for our young guys. Like, so many teaching moments for Jamal Murray. The turnovers, that kind of stuff. And the best time to teach is after a tough loss. So many teachable moments, and that's what we're going to use this for. And I know on Sunday afternoon we'll leave it all out there again.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate everybody.